Run second at his last 3 starts, and they're in good quality events. He's drawn barrier 7. He is my outsider pick, but gee, I would like to see him relax a bit.
9 Skybo having his 4th start in the Melbourne Cup. He finished 3rd in 96, 7th in 97, 8th last year, ridden by Larry Cassidy for Len Smith.
He's been desperately unlucky in a couple of those Melbourne Cups, Peter, but really his form leading into those Cups in years gone by was a lot better than it is going into this one here today. And he's getting older. I'd say at very best a rough place chance.
And he's got gate 11, the most successful barrier in Cup history with 6 wins. Number 10 is The Message. Will be ridden by Aaron Spiteri. His first ride in the Melbourne Cup for John Ralph. The last horse to carry the number 10 saddlecloth to victory was way back in 1937.
Well, I think The Message has got the job ahead of him here. I hope he runs around nicely for Aaron and gives him a good look, but his form wouldn't indicate that he's a chance here. 7th at his last start in the Cox Plate. Not really good enough, I wouldn't think, Pete.
Number 11, Streak. Greg Hall is a Melbourne Cup winning rider. Maybe Bart Cummings will win Cup number 11. We'll find out shortly. He doesn't have Streak. Robert Smurden has Streak. What a great thrill for him. And the last Moonee Valley Cup winner to win the Melbourne Cup, Kingston Rule, 1990.
Well, he's just done everything right, Streak, and it would be a great thrill for Robert to win it as well. 51.5 kilos with Greg Hall on board. He's racing well. He can come home with a strong finish. He's won at big odds.
Number 12, Lahar. Corey Brown having his 2nd ride in the Melbourne Cup. Trainer is Paul Cave at Warwick Farm, and the number 12 saddlecloth is the 2nd most successful in the Cup history with 10 wins.
Well, unfortunately, Lahar hasn't really produced her best form at her last 3 starts. 9th of 11 in the Cox Plate, 10th of 18 in the Caulfield Cup. Not really good enough. I think it's a bit of hit and hope with Lahar.
Second coming, number 13, ran 23rd in this race last year. Greg Childs reunited with the horse on which he won the Derby a couple of years ago, and the trainer is Michael Moroney. The last Derby winner to subsequently win the Cup was Delta back in 1949, the Derby, 51 the Cup.
His recent form hasn't been all that bad, but after he won the Derby 2 years ago, his form really went off the boil. So I would say he'll be up there for quite some time. He likes to be up on the pace, but I think towards the end he'll find him out.
Number 14, Able Master, and the rider here is Grant Cooksley. And this horse is trained by Bruce Wallace at Flemington. Maybe an omen. In 1965, Lightfingers had both the 14 saddlecloth and barrier 6, and that's what Able Master's got.
Well, good to see him nice and relaxed in the yard, but Able Master's form probably isn't up to this. His best form is in the Metropolitan, and that hasn't been great form, hasn't held up. But he is a son of Zabeel, and we know how they excel at 2 miles.
15, Bohemian, one of John Sadler's 2 runners in the race. Jason Patton rides in the Melbourne Cup for the first time. Barrier 5 has had the equal 2nd most Cup victories with 5.
Bohemian, he won't mind this distance. I think he'll run it out very well. He's a very good Flemington horse as well. 50 kilos on his back. He's got in very nicely, and I think he's some chance in the race. 16,
Figurehead. Opie Bosson making his Melbourne Cup debut for Kay Lane at Mornington. The last horse to win from barrier 24. Gala Supreme back in 73.
Yes, Figurehead 2 starts back won the Cramden Cup in record time, but subsequently ran 12th in the Caulfield Cup. Probably not up to this field, and it would be a great surprise if Opie Bosson can get him from barrier 24 to win the race.
Only 8 7-year-olds have won the Cup, the last vintage crop in 93, and Rogan Josh is 7 years of age, but he is trained by the master Bart Cummings, ridden by John Marshall. JB Cummings looking for Cup victory number 11.
And he gets a great weight drop here. He drops to 50 kilos. He's just done everything right. As a 7-year-old, Bart's just done an excellent job with him. He's going into this race as an extremely fit horse.